My name is Ashley Rossi. This is a video interview assignment for Dr. White's Advanced Marriage and Therapy Theory course at Texas A&M University. My friend Kyle will be asking me questions about the collaborative therapeutic approach.
Please discuss what it means to be a collaborative therapist.
Yes. As a collaborative therapist, I view the relationship between client and therapist more as a partnership. I use a two-way conversation to explore the client's conflicts and develop a solution with them. I believe that conversation can be used to generate meaning for clients and can help the relationship between client and therapist. I also believe that therapy can be understood as a process of caring and compassionate conversations within which clients can derive new meanings. Rather than focusing on the person who has the problem, I feel as a therapist that it is more important to focus on the people who view the situation as a problem. Also, with this therapeutic approach, the client is the expert, while I as a therapist assume the role of a curious, active, and responsive listener. I often ask clients many questions about how they believe their conflict started and what they think can be done to help resolve it. These questions also help clients to view their problems from a different perspective. I am also very transparent with clients about my thoughts. I focus, listen, and question in a way that is comfortable to the client's language and nature. I am also very humble with the clients and allow them to lead the direction of therapy. I think one of the important goals in this approach is to make clients feel as though they are in control, and I think this can be very beneficial when we're working on building the therapeutic relationship.
What are some common misperceptions about collaborative therapy?
There are misperceptions about collaborative therapy. I think that one of the biggest misperceptions on collaborative therapy is the not knowing approach. People mistake this not knowing mindset as the same as incompetence. As a collaborative therapist, I also avoid making assumptions and I avoid a pre-knowing perspective with clients. When people make assumptions, they often fill in gaps with false information. When we don't make assumptions with this therapeutic approach, we allow ourselves the time and opportunity to really get to know our clients and understand their perspective. And we have the opportunity to ask questions that help us gain that understanding. This not knowing perspective also encourages clients to shift their perspective about the conflict that they are facing. Oftentimes when clients shift their perspective, this can lead to positive growth and change in their life.
What draws you to this approach personally?
Thank you for asking. I am drawn to the collaborative approach because I get to work with clients in a partnership. The client and I work as a team towards a common goal. I also think that the not knowing perspective and two-way dialogue lays a strong foundation for building a therapeutic relationship. It also helps encourage clients to open up and share their story. I also really like how the client is the expert of their life experiences. I personally believe that every person is unique and has a story to share. And as a collaborative therapist, I get to listen to and engage with clients about their life experiences from their perspective. I think that this allows us to get to know our clients and understand them better. I am also drawn to this approach because it allows me as the therapist to be transparent with the client about my thoughts. I also like the two-way dialogue process that is facilitated in this approach. This dialogue allows me the opportunity to co-create new and more useful understandings about the client's conflicts with them.
Can you give a case example in which this approach proved to be useful and describe how it was useful?
Yes, I can. case example in which this approach had proved to be useful was with a couple that I used to see. The couple came to therapy because they were experiencing conflict over differences in parenting styles, and they were also having difficulty communicating with each other. The husband was upset with his wife because he felt that she was too easy and lenient on their youngest son. The husband had a more authoritative parenting style, while the wife was completely the opposite. I noticed during our initial session that the husband was very vocal and expressive about his thoughts and feelings, while the wife just sat there quietly and in the beginning didn't even engage in the therapy session. However, I also noticed that the wife had a lot of difficulty finding her voice. I asked her what she was feeling while her husband was expressing his thoughts, and she was very hesitant to respond to me, and she quietly muttered, "It doesn't even matter." I asked her husband, how does hearing his wife say that her feelings do not matter make him feel? I also asked the wife how it felt to believe that her feelings did not matter. She slowly began opening up in the session as my questions continued. She expressed that she felt like she was not good enough, both as a wife and as a mother. I then asked her, "What does that mean to you?" And as a collaborative therapist and as a therapist in general, most people would think that I have a good understanding of what it means to be a good wife and what it means to be a good mother. However, it's very important that with this approach that I don't assume anything and I don't make assumptions and I don't take a pre-knowing notion. With my clients, I want to fully understand their perspective, so that's why it was very important for me to ask her what those things meant to her. Also, I was very curious what her perspective was, and she expressed to me that a good mother and wife would be able to maintain a peaceful home without all of the chaos and yelling and fighting. And I was very curious because she was so quiet in therapy, if she was the one contributing to the yelling and the fighting and the chaos at home that she was describing. And when I asked her if she was the one that was yelling at home, both her and her husband laughed. Her husband said that he had never even seen her yell in all of the 15 years that he had known her. And she also thought that that idea was very funny. I wanted to explore this a little bit further, and so I wanted to open her up to a new perspective. So I asked her, if you're not the one yelling at home, why do you feel so responsible for the yelling and the chaos that takes place? And with my questions, I just wanted to open her up to a new perspective, and I wanted her to see if that was even a possibility, to see if maybe that would help further her understanding and maybe shift her perspective a little bit. And we continued, the three of us, to explore and recreate different understandings of the conflict that they both were experiencing. We helped each other develop new and better understandings about the different conflicts and the situations that were occurring within the home. And I think it was very beneficial to work as a team. And as a collaborative therapist, again, I like to say that it's very important for everyone to have a voice and to share their perspective on the conflict that they're facing. While they might see the same conflict, they might think that they're experiencing the same conflict, perspectives for each individual can be very unique. So it's very important to let each member share their story, and that helps us as therapists to gain a good understanding of how they feel and their perspective on it. As therapy continued with this couple, I continued to maintain a genuine curiosity, and I began to ask more questions, and just to keep understanding their unique perspectives.